kidding me? So I just got a bunch of awesome books back from CGC, and after my wife taped up the grades so I could do this little reveal, I looked over the books to make sure they were okay, and I found out this Amazing Spider-Man number 129, first appearance of Punisher, is not okay. Because when I was looking at the book, it seems like whoever encapsulated it just kind of crammed it into the holder. Because if you look at this bottom right corner, you see this cover has been lifted up. It was laying flat, and I'm actually afraid that maybe it's detached now. And I don't know how well you can see it here, but there are some major crinkles now on this bottom right corner that weren't there. And so it just looks like somebody jammed this expensive book into the case. Now, there are some silver linings. First of all, I told CGC that, hey, I think someone screwed this up. And they actually take pictures of the book. And when they looked at the pictures on their end, they said, ooh, yeah, we're going to give you a return label, and you can send it to us, and we'll press it and do whatever we can to get it back to where it was. Now, even with the press, I think this book has been damaged beyond repair, and especially if this cover has become detached. And so I'm pretty certain that whatever grade this book has, which I don't know yet, that it's going to have to be regraded, and it's not going to do this well. And of course, CGC is going to reimburse me whatever the difference is between those grades, if that is the case. But obviously, I would just rather have the higher graded book, even with that money coming back to me. Now, another silver lining is that this is a book that I'm actually planning to sell because I have a better condition copy. I already have a 5.0, and I'm certain this isn't going to be a 5.0. So it's not like a book for my PC that I'm going to be sad that it's a grade lower. So yeah, that makes it a little bit okay. And some exciting news about this book that doesn't have anything to do with CGC is that when I sent it off to my presser, he sent me a message saying, hey man, it's awesome that you've got a Mark Jewelers version of this comic. And that was an awesome surprise because I bought this book from someone and was too concerned about even flipping through the pages because the spine is kind of rough. And so I didn't want to damage it by accident myself. And so I didn't even look to see that it was a Mark Jewelers. And of course, if you know anything about those books, they command a premium in price. And so I'm going to be able to get even a little bit more than I expected. Now, as we're revealing these grades, I'm going to tell you what this book needs to come back as for it to have been a good investment for me. And then if it comes back higher than that, man, I am doing very well for myself. So this book, with what I paid for it, actually, yeah, it can be pretty much anything. I got a great deal on it. But really a 2.0 is what I'm looking for. And I think it's going to be better than that. I think it's got a good shot at being at least a 3.0 before the damage CGC did on it. If this cover is detached, I think it might be a 2.0. But fingers crossed that at least at this point, it's going to be a little bit higher than that. 3.5, Mark Jewelers. Man, I would be over the moon if I was confident that it was going to retain that 3.5. But whatever it comes back as, obviously CGC will reimburse me some if it's not a 3.5, and I'll be okay. All right, well, we're going to continue with some Bronze Age first appearances. As next up, we have Werewolf by Night number 32, which contains the first appearance of Moon Knight. And this is a lower mid-grade copy. I spent a little more than I wanted to, but I really love Moon Knight and didn't have my own copy at the time. And as long as it's a 4.0, I'm fine. And I think it'll probably get at least that, especially seeing that that's a 3.5. It does have a little tear on the spine here, a little tear here, and just a lot of wear around the edges. But it's the kind of book that I love for my PC if I'm buying mid to low grade where most of the damage is around the edges, and so the main picture, the main image still looks beautiful. So as long as we're a 4.0 or better, we're doing okay. 5.0, very nice. And the reason I say I overpaid for that one is because a few months later, I found one that I think is in better condition, which I'm excited this is a 5.0 because I have high hopes now for this one to be at least a grade higher. And I think it could get a 7.0. So that was a copy I bought because I didn't have any Moon Knight's first appearance. But now I will probably sell that one since I do expect this one to come back at a better grade, I hope. But even if this is a 5.0, I'm still doing fine with what I paid for this one. But let us see. 7.0. I got the 7.0. Wow. What a beautiful book. I am excited. And we're going to, again, keep on this Bronze Age first appearance train as we have Marvel Premiere number 15, the first appearance of Iron Fist. And this is another one where I hope it can be a 7.0. And it's got a little tear on the back and some fading here, some ticks. 7.0. This one I'm not as confident in doing well, but I think it's going to get a 7.0 or better. 7.5. All right, I'm doing fine. Not quite as big of a difference as that last book, but still doing well for myself. Next, we have Iron Fist's buddy, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire #1. Of course, his first appearance. And this one, I think, is definitely lower grade than those last two. I need a 5.0 to have done well on this, and I think it will get there. 6.0, very nice. Now, before we get to the next book, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, of course, I'd appreciate it if you consider doing so now. All right, so far, so good. And next up, we have another first appearance, Green Lantern number 87, the first appearance of John Stewart. And this is another one of the books that I love for my PC, where the main art looks beautiful, but there's some wear around the edges, and especially this top corner here is pretty rough. It's you can't really see it too much from the front, but it's pretty much just been ripped away on the side and a little bit on the back. And I don't know how much they're going to dock me for that. Without that, it would definitely be on the higher end of mid-grade. I'm expecting the lower end of mid-grade now, but if it's at least a 4.0, I'm fine, and I think I could get a little higher than that. I think, let's see, 5.5. All right, that is exciting. That was better than I thought. All right, well, to finish up this submission, we have 3 comics with classic covers, and we're going to start off with Batman number 251, which has this Neil Adams classic cover. And this is another book that looks beautiful, but has some major issues that I think will bring it down, but it doesn't really affect the aesthetic much. First of all, it has a pretty significant spine roll here, and then secondly, it has a pretty big crease on the back. And that crease on the back was pretty much what brought my ASM 129 from my PC down to a 5.0. And so I am guessing this is going to be around that, which will be fine with what I paid for it. 5.0 is kind of what I need. 6.0, wow. All right, everything is, again, going well. And if that was a 6.0, then I'm pretty sure this Batman 251 is going to do better than that. There are some things where I think it's a printer's defect. There's kind of this line on the back, but I don't think it's an actual crease. There's also some sun shadow on the back. If that's a 6.0, I would love for this to be, of course, at least a 7.0. I think it's the better copy. And could it even get higher? 7.0, right where I wanted it. Now, this last book is really interesting. This Tales to Astonish 93, which has this classic Silver Surfer Hulk cover. And it's the first time Silver Surfer actually appeared outside the Fantastic Four comic series. And this book is beautiful. I mean, incredible condition for its age, except it has this faint little line running across here. And my presser and I are both wondering, is that a printer defect? If so, then I think this book could be in the 9s. But the more I look at it, I don't think it's a printer defect. And that could bring it all the way down to like a 7. And so my guess, though, is it's going to be right in the middle at an 8. Which, again, is a real shame if it is below a 9 because of just how awesome this cover looks. And that line is just so faint. But I think they're going to hit me for it. So let's see. Hopefully at least a 7. If it's below a 7, I'll be very sad and shocked. But an 8 is what I'm guessing. 9! Oh, it got the 9. Wow. What a beautiful book. Holy cow. A book from 1967 and a 9.0 condition. Ooh. Woo! I have definitely made a good investment on this one. Now, the big question is whether or not I should sell this book, because I'm going to look up the numbers. I'll try to put them on the screen if I remember to do this. But I think this is going to be a pretty valuable book because of its condition. And I don't love it. I mean, I like it a lot, but there are books that I definitely love more than this. So should I sell it so that I can invest the money into a book that I love more? Or do I just say, holy cow, a 9.0 condition book from the Silver Age. I just needed to keep it in my PC for that reason. Tell me what you would do in the comments below. Now, of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you consider doing so now. Like the video, give me a comment, and thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.